Welcome to the reading of Turning 25 on my 52nd birthday. This is a story of my life right after my divorce as I grew into a new woman. Please comment any questions on the video below. I'll get back to them as soon as I can. And thank you so much. Please like and subscribe also. Thanks. So I'm going to continue with chapter 39. Let me sit up a little bit. Okay, so they arrived at the steakhouse around 5 p.m. for an early dinner. They really had a nice time. The restaurant was not cheap, but Veronica had told Rick months ago that she really wanted to take him there. The dinner was awesome. The conversation was fun and comfortable. Veronica was wondering how it would feel being out with him, especially in a nicer restaurant with the age difference. But it felt fine. It was comfortable. Before they had the valet get the car, they took a walk around the block and talked. Veronica wished she had a picture of the way they looked together at that night. She was wearing one of her favorite dresses, and she felt sexy in it. And they went back to her house, and their house after the walk. Veronica got a large glass of wine, and Rick grabbed a couple beers, and they went upstairs. Veronica started the bath water and added just a little bit of bubbles, just enough to smell nice. And the bathtub was perfect size, enough room to keep their drinks close. They both got in, and it was perfect. Rick was amazing. Veronica felt like a perfect woman. How could this man know how to make a woman feel so perfect? Every way he touched her, every way he moved her, every way he placed her, everything was perfect. She had never had sex like that before. This was a first. When it came to sex with Rick, everything felt like a first time. She constantly felt like a virgin, like it was the first time. He made every inch of her glow and feel warm. She wanted to hang on to his feelings, hang on to it forever. When they were finished in the bathtub, it was over to the bed. He asked if he could record their sex, and of course she agreed. Veronica would never tell him no. She couldn't even imagine what it would be like to tell him no. It was a very nice way to finish their evening. It was pleasing, it was fun, it was hot. She felt good, he felt good. It was a perfect end to a perfect day. He actually slept on her side of the bed. This was the first time Veronica has shared a bed with a man since she left her husband. He took her side. This was the first, This was the first time. Okay, of course she didn't. I'm sorry. I'm going to do that over. This was the first time she actually wanted to tell him, how dare you assume you can just sleep on my side of the bed. Of course she didn't. She crawled to the other side and tried to fall asleep. She couldn't. There was no way she could sleep with a guy in her bed. Oh my God, that was too much. After a couple hours of no sleep, Veronica noticed that she had left the candles on. Left the candles she had lit for the bathtub scene and had not been put out. She got up and went to blow them out. She bent over and blew one out, but the other one was too far to reach, so she picked it up. Not a smart thing. The candle was in glass, and the glass was hot. She dropped it immediately, and the candle knocked over the other candle, and well, you know, there was a wax mess everywhere. The nice thing was she didn't care. She grinned and thought, what a beautiful, messy memory. And she didn't even clean it up. And actually, she didn't clean it up for months. It did not appear to wake up Rick. He seemed to be sleeping pretty damn good on her side of the bed. She laid with her eyes open, thinking, wow, she had a man next to her right now. This was such a cool feeling. Only problem was this man was not in any way going to show 1 inch of emotion. He would never hug her after sex or stay with her in any kind of hold. He was up and cleaning off as soon as they were finished. So yes, it was nice, but she knew this is what was just kind of nice. She wouldn't mind having someone to hold her. Well, he made her feel phenomenal during sex and about her sexuality. He did not quite give her that little extra something. He did that on purpose. He did not want anyone catching feelings for him. At least not her. The more Veronica thought about it, the more she knew that he was the one that didn't want to catch the feelings. While he put on a very tough outside, he was not so tough inside. He had no empathy and could make people feel like crap, but that was caused from his own hurt deep inside. She was sure. He had never said that, but her gut told her there was so much more to this man than he let on. She woke him up about 7:30, which was what they had planned, and it was so cute because she kind of climbed over him to wake him up, and she climbed over him to wake him up. She'd cooked some eggs, heated up the leftover steak from the night before. They got dressed and got to the convention. They would probably stay until around 2 or 3. Veronica would need to drive him back to Fort Collins. They arrived downtown, and this time Veronica decided to park in the same parking garage she did the other day. They were a little early, so they took a walk to a coffee house and had some coffee before getting back to the convention center. They stayed at the convention for only half the day. They were both tired, and it was actually getting a little old drinking beer. They were able to taste the beers that intrigued them, so they left around 2. They decided to go back to Veronica's house and just rest a little before going back to Fort Collins. Neither of them showered in the morning since Rick had showered the night before and Veronica didn't feel she needed one after the bath. She went upstairs to take a shower, and as she was blow-drying her hair, he came up to get in the shower. So she stopped what she was doing and let him have the bathroom. She kind of felt awkward, didn't know if he was comfortable with her finishing up while she was showering. It was strange. She hadn't shared a bathroom with someone since her marriage, so it constantly felt like she was relearning everything. When he got out of the shower, he called her upstairs, so of course she almost ran up there. What was it about this man that could make her just do just whatever he asked and almost listen to him like he truly was in control of her? She didn't see this when she was with him. She only saw this part when she was not with him. She was so starry-eyed with this man. The way he made her feel when they had sex made her jump. That feeling she would never get enough of. But would this be her own demise? Would this man who made her feel so beautiful and so sexy be the man that would turn her right back into who she was when she was married? Would this man be another man that she could not trust herself with? They had the most wonderful sex again. Was it perfect? No. Was it extraordinary sex? No. Did she feel wonderful about herself? Yes. We will see as time goes. This is something that she really needs to see for herself. Veronica needs to feel wonderful with or without him. In just a little bit, she needed to drive him home. It was the end of one of the most perfect weekends. They really had a nice time, not just with the sex. The weekend was the first time she could say that she really did enjoy just being with him. They did just enough to stay busy, but also enough to talk a little too. It was beautiful. She dropped him off, got out of the car, and let him know how much she had enjoyed it. They hugged, and she said that she was hoping they could see each other soon. That was a tough weekend. That was such a good weekend. And I will never, ever say that it wasn't. No matter what our relation did before or after that weekend, it was a truly wonderful weekend. This is when I so wish that I knew more about what he felt, because I think to myself, I really felt like I was more to him at that point. And maybe I was. And maybe he just didn't want to say that. And maybe he just wanted a place to stay while he did the beer convention. Maybe, I had even mentioned that to him. Well, you can come and stay with me. And I said, but, I don't expect to have sex. I don't, that's not, you can stay with me and it's not payment or anything. I don't want it to be like that. And it was kind of weird and awkward to talk about that beforehand. But really, 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 this weekend will go down in my probably best weekends of my life weekend. It did make me feel different about myself. Still learning about him, but at least I really started seeing myself more beautiful and more sexy as this time went on. And it didn't have to do with the way I look. He truly made me feel that way. And we had sex well before I had lost weight, and he made me feel sexy at that time too. So it's hard for me to believe that this relationship restarted because of my weight loss. But I don't know. Again, I don't know. Maybe, like I say, maybe he just needed me, and I was there for him. I was a good friend to him when he needed to talk or be. I think I was steady, like just someone you could count on. Being my age and being responsible you know, and him dating probably younger women that were, you know, maybe had kids and all over the place. I was a constant. That's all I can think of, but I don't know. So that was the end of 39. Thanks.